In this video, we are going to see about return values in functions. So we have already seen how a function works, and when we call it with different values, how we get the output. So let's see how the return values can be used in a function to get the value returned. Let's say we have a function called euro to rupees, and it gets input as rupee or argument as rupee. Now we want to convert this rupee euro, sorry, it gets input as euro, and we want to convert this euro into rupees. So let's take a variable named rupees, and euro is divided by 80. So I hope this is right. So let's say we want to get rupees out of this function as a result whenever we call this function. So what we'll do, we'll use a keyword called return, and we'll return this variable which stores the value in rupees of this euro. So if you try to call this function and give it a value like maybe 10, and if you try to run this program, we see that there is no output, although the program has been completely executed without an error, because the function is returning something but we are not receiving it. So we need to receive it to get the value that has been returned by the function. So let's suppose if we wanted to receive it, we need a variable. So receiving variable. Now if we call this function, whatever is returned by this function will be stored in this receiving variable. Now let's print this receiving variable to see if we are getting this value returned. So here it is, we are getting the value returned from the function which is being stored inside this receiving variable, and then we are printing this. Now let's suppose we want to have one more function. The function we already have tried, dollar to rupees, dollar. Now we want to are we doing anything in reverse order in this function? Whatever it is, forget it. Let's say we want to multiply dollar into 70. We are doing reverse over here. It's actually not euro to rupees, it's rupees to euro. Rupees to euro, and this will be euro, similarly euro also. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Let's get it corrected. Now we have two functions, one is dollar to rupees and the other is rupees to euro. So if we want to call this function, we need another variable to store the value. So let's have another variable. The variable may be receiving variable 2, and this will store the value from dollar to rupees, let's say about $10. Now we can print both the variables simultaneously, receiving variable 2. Now if we run this program, we get both the values. So basically a return function can be used to pass any sort of value. We can also pass this value as a string. So let's see one value of rupees is. Now we can use this variable to typecast with the help of str. Now this entire value is a string, and this function is returning string, so we are receiving in the same variable, printing the same. So if we run the program, we see that any sort of value you can return from a function which can be received in a variable and can be used further.